Verse by verse meditations. Genesis chapter 9. Genesis chapter 9 and verse 11. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. Whenever we go through a traumatic experience, we keep wondering, how long must I endure this? Whenever that traumatic experience ends, we would then say, I pray that I don't have to go through that ever again. To give Noah and his descendants peace of mind in this matter, the Lord makes two promises in regards to the flood. The first promise is not to use this method to cut off all flesh anymore. In 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Peter uses scientific language to describe future events, centuries before we began to even have a greater understanding of the periodic table. In Revelation chapter 20 and verse 9, and they went up on the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. John got to witness these future events when rebellious man would take his final stance against the long-suffering God. The second promise that God made is to never again send a global flood. Many of us have witnessed the events of local floods, either through media or up close and personal. Many have lost their lives in local floods down through the ages. Tsunamis, hurricanes and typhoons, mudslides, and the bursting of dams still give many survivors post-traumatic stress when they even think of the wind and the rain and all that water. So how do we comfort those that have suffered through natural disasters, including earthquakes and volcano eruptions? Many have suffered through the ravages of war, pestilence, and persecution. Some will look at the numbers of today's verse and remember the Twin Towers in New York that happened on 9/11. Whatever we may experience or go through, God promises that there will be a limit to our suffering. In Matthew chapter 24 and verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. God flooded the earth because he knew that if man was left to his own devices, he would have brought about a complete annihilation of the human race. God will intervene once again in the future to prevent our extinction once more. In Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 4, and his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west, and there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half of it toward the south. When Jesus steps onto the earth again, he will rule a perfect world for 1,000 years with a rod of iron.